Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your monthly tarot reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is just going to be a reading over the emotions for the month. Just to get a glimpse into how you're feeling throughout the month and maybe some little advice for how to deal with those emotions. I'm going to pull 8 cards for the month, and then I'm going to pull 2 oracle cards just as for further guidance from Spirit. Okay. Get those lined up. Then we're going to pull 2 Magical Times Empowerment cards by Jody Bergsma. Just as additional insight from Spirit. We'll read the oracle cards first, and then we'll get into the rest of the reading. Okay. We've got happiness. Immense delight can be found in the smallest of things. Cultivate fluttering moments of joy. It is very easy to stay in a happy mood if you allow every single thing around you to make you happy. It's easiest to stay happy in a place of gratitude, an attitude of gratitude. When you feel appreciation for things in your life, you feel so much happier. And every little thing in your life is something to be grateful and feel blessed about, and it's easy to hold on to happiness. Cultivate floating moments of joy. It's the little things in life. When something small happens that makes you smile, milk it, bask in that brief joy, feel happy. And by doing so, you'll keep yourself in a positive place, which will allow more positivity to come into your life. Sanctuary. Embrace the need for solitude. Your inner sanctuary calls you. Renew yourself and thrive. So this card speaks to needing to get away from others to recharge our batteries. Sometimes we need to take a break from socialization and, the constant chatter of others to go within ourselves and really take a moment to become invigorated and do just enjoy our own company, our solitude. By being alone, we can clean up our energy a little bit and renew ourselves, like the card says. So it looks like this month will be really good for spending a little time alone, finding yourself some alone time, Scorpio, and also cultivating the fluttering moments of joy, like it says. Let's get into the month. We don't want this to run too long. The first week we have the Wood and the Sword. So it looks like this week we're doing a lot of maybe self-evaluation, just taking an honest look at ourselves, wondering if we need to change anything in our lives. Do we need to be more healthy maybe? Do we need to be more health conscious? Do we need to connect more to earth and nature? Have we been too disconnected from that? Have we been doing ourselves good? Have we been treating our body good? Have we been honoring ourselves? This is a card that asks you to look at that honestly, these 2 cards together, to look at your own self and just really take account of what it is you're doing with yourself. How are you treating yourself? How are you living your life? Not in a broad sense, but in regards to how you take care of your body physically. How are you physically taking care of your body? Take a really honest look at yourself in this first week. It's a good week for maybe taking note of things we're doing well, and maybe, making a list of all the things we aren't doing so good. And maybe by taking stock of that early in the month, we can start implementing changes throughout the rest of the month. By starting something out in the beginning, by the end, it can end on a really good place, on a really high note. The second week, we have the Mirror and the Libra. So the Mirror is another card about introspection. When you look in the mirror, do you like what you see? It is about really, you know, taking an honest look at yourself, all your flaws and all your faults, everything that's going on with you, especially in your own mind. And the Libra is a card about balance. Are you putting too much effort and attention in one area of life and neglecting another? Are you spreading yourself too thin everywhere that no area gets enough attention? And when I see the Libra with the mirror, it's asking about how are you behaving. When you look at yourself, are you noticing some areas of yourself that you give a lot more attention to and other areas that you maybe need more work? It's almost like a repeat of the first week's energy, although this one is just more about taking an honest look at things, and this one is more about striving to find balance in all areas of life within yourself. It's striving to find balance in everything. When you take a look at yourself in the mirror, you see some things that need more work and other things that you give a lot of attention to. The Libra wants you to maybe pull away from some of the stuff you give too much attention to and maybe give some attention to an area that needs some work. It looks like the first half of the month is about making a positive change for yourself, just doing some honest looking at yourself and really taking an effort to, smooth some things out, balance out a couple of things, be honest with yourself. And by doing so, we can create more harmony within ourselves. And by doing so, we'll feel much better emotionally and even mentally. So it looks like the first half of the month is about making positive changes for ourselves through introspection and some action, maybe. The third week of the month, we have the Jump and the Arrow. The Jump card is, to me, it has a frenetic energy. The Jump card is a card about going around, trying out new things. If you feel like you want to try something new, it's about doing so. It's about jumping onto different things, just getting your feet wet on different things, dabbling in different things maybe. The Arrow is about focusing on one place of interest. It's about practicing on one thing and becoming really good at it, about honing your craft. Practice makes perfect. So the Jump and the Arrow almost have conflicting energies. The Arrow wants you might feel like you want to put some attention into one area of expertise, one thing you're good at, one thing you enjoy doing, a certain craft maybe, Scorpio. But the Jump card is going to have you feel called to do multiple things. You might be pulled in different directions, artistically or in whatever way. And the Arrow is saying you will make a lot more effort. Your efforts will make a lot more. You'll make a lot more progress with your efforts if you maybe just focus on one or two areas and don't spread yourself too thin in the third week of the month. So it looks like you're going to be called to do a lot of different things. You might feel a little pulled in different directions, but just don't spread yourself too thin. In the areas that you do give attention to, you'll be able to make really good progress, I think, in the third week. The more you practice at something that you're good at or something you have interest in, the better at it you'll get. Practice makes perfect, and I think that's something to keep in mind in the third week. The last week of the month, we have the Mist and the Shadow. So, the Mist, you might feel a little lost. You might feel like you don't know what direction to go in. You might feel a little aimless. You don't know if you should do this, you should do that. You feel a little hesitant. You feel some trepidation. The Shadow is a card that has to do more with inner work, shadow work, dealing with repressed feelings and emotions, things that you've been suppressing, things you haven't felt like dealing with. I feel like in the last week of the month, for you Scorpio, it's going to be a time that you might feel a little aimless. You might be a little confused as to what you want to do next or where you're going. And I feel like by looking within and maybe doing some shadow work, or just doing inner work that involves processing certain feelings and emotions and memories, you might be able to let that stuff go finally. And once you're free of this baggage, you might not feel so aimless. You'll feel more clean. You'll have more clarity because you won't be bogged down by things from your past, things from deep within yourself. This whole month is very introspective, it looks like. It's a lot of inner work this month for you, Scorpio. The first half of the month is just about evaluating your life and where you're going to go, about how you are acting with yourself within your own life, and about maybe establishing some kind of balance, should there be a need for that. The second week is about, honing your skills and honing your craft in something that you are trying to become better at. Trying new things, but maybe not too many things, because if you try too many things, you won't make as much progress as you'd like. The last week of the month, again, it might have you feeling a little aimless, but you may be able to gain clarity through inward exploration, maybe doing some shadow work, and you'll be all the better for it, for having done so. This is a good month. Anytime you can take an honest look at yourself and evaluate things and make or start implementing changes, or even plan out the changes, that's always a really good thing. It's a really, really positive self-growth, path that you're on, I think. And I think that by the end of the month, you'll have grown so much, especially, inwardly. It looks like you're going to be making a lot of good progress. I mean, it harkens back to this one: embrace the need for solitude, renew yourself and thrive. Like, these are all introspective cards, like introspection. And you can't be introspective if you're surrounded by people. You have to be alone for that. Renew yourself and thrive. I think by the end of the month, when everything is said and done, you're going to feel very renewed. You're going to have a lot of positive progress. So I would say that this concludes the monthly reading for you, Scorpio. I think this is going to be a great month for you, and I think you're going to make a lot of progress with inner work, and it'll be a really positive emotional journey for you where you take control of your inner life, and by doing so, you'll be able to achieve a lot more balance and clarity of mind. So that concludes this reading for the month of December. If you liked it, then please give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'm going to post all the rest of the signs very soon, and I'm going to try to post some every month. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate any feedback if you have any comments, and I will see you in the next one.